JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 23rd of November 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, quick update here on the German DAX. To be honest, not much is happening apart from this little spike that we had here earlier on. Which managed to overcome this 13,300 level that I kept talking about in my morning video and my previous videos last week. So basically the index did break above this hurdle. However, this is where when I always say that wait for that confirmation daily close as well, guys, because we need to see that daily candle staying above this area. Not only just breaking it, because at the moment it just formed a nice false breakout. But if we would see this daily candle remaining above this area, then that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for more buyers. For now, we're just gonna leave it here. We're not gonna do anything. We're gonna stay neutral probably here, and then yes, we will continue waiting for that clear breakthrough, and as I said, a daily candle staying outside of this little range here. So for the upside, we need to see that daily candle staying above this 13,300 level, not only breaking it but also staying above it. And for the downside, we would need to see that good drop below this 13,000 zones, the psychological 13,000 area, and then yes, we could consider maybe larger extensions to the downside. Now, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now here the index on Friday drifted lower, and yep, it closed in the red. I mean, it closed the week in general, the week in the red. However, it managed to remain above the highest point of September, near the 29,200 level. Now, if we look at the cash index right now and where the price is currently sitting at, we'll see that the price is around 29,365 territory. So basically, it's above Friday's close, but nevertheless not far from this area, and still it's not really back above this 29,567 territory. Now, I talked about this level as well, this 29,567, because that's basically the previous all-time high here, which was reached in February of this year, and as you can see, the price is now back below it. So today, if we can see, the cash index did try to move higher, did try to get closer to this area. However, it failed to do so and drifted back down. So don't get me wrong, we still have the full US session to go through. So let's see if we can actually get another boost here, another push higher, and if this time again the this barrier here, the 29,567 area, will provide good resistance, then basically what we could see here is a potential head and shoulders pattern. But again, that's maybe a little bit me getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna leave it here for now. I'm gonna keep this idea in the back of my head, but not really gonna focus in too much yet. So in other words, if we see a drop below the 29,200 zone, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting, and we could see more sellers joining in here and driving this one lower towards the 28,958 territory or below that. But again, for now, probably the game that we'll have to play is a bit of a waiting game, because even if we want to see a push higher, we would need to see that daily candle climbing back above the 29,569 territory here and staying above it, because that's the more important. Not only that we need to see a break, but also we would like to see a nice daily close above this area. And if we get something like that, then I'll aim for the 29,964 territory again. But again, for now, the kind of it seems that there is a chance for Dow Jones Industrial Average to drift lower. However, I'll consider this idea if we get a drop and a daily close below the 29,200 level. DXY, so the dollar index, and finally drifting lower, and look at this beautiful move here. So this is what I talked about this morning and last week as well. Basically, we had a nice daily, or should I say, we didn't have it yet, but we're on track of having a nice daily close here below this. However, maybe again I'm speaking a bit ahead of myself. Probably the best scenario right now, it would be to wait, because yes, we had a drop. That's great news for the sellers, of course. We had a drop below this area, below this 92.24 zone, but will this stay? Will this daily candle remain below this area? Well, let's wait and see. If it does, then my next target is the lowest point of September, near the 91.75 territory, or even below that. But again, let's wait and see. Gold. Now, gold is still undecided, or should I say the traders are still undecided what to do with gold. Yes, the dollar index is dropping. However, the commodity here, the yellow metal, isn't really doing much. So it's stuck still between these two levels, the ones that I was talking about, the 1860 level on the downside and the 1877 area on the upside. So in order to aim for some higher levels, we would need to see that good push above this 1877 territory first, and then we could consider maybe a move towards this 1899 level or even above that. But in terms of the downside, I need to see that nice daily candle staying below this 1860 territory, because we keep getting these little overshoots here, we keep getting these false breakouts, but nothing is really happening here. So that's why I would prefer to wait for that daily candle to get outside of these two levels. So either it's to stay above the 1877 territory or below the 1860 zone. Ethereum, so looking at this beautiful move here, Ethereum is popping higher today, and this is what I talked about this morning, guys, that in a way, for now, what I'm going to be targeting is this 637 territory, which is marked by the highest point of June of 2018. So as you can see, we're on the right track, and in a way, the crypto could push further north. And if you're thinking that we're quite overstretched here to the upside, well, I mean, you just have to take a look at December 2017 and January 2018, and then all the overstretched, overbought, oversold ideas will kind of disappear. But for now, basically, yes, it's climbing higher, it's pushing further north. This morning I talked about this one, and I was saying that keep your eyes on the 637 territory. It might provide good resistance here, and then the crypto may reverse back down, maybe for a bit of a correction to the downside. However, I would me personally, I mean, I would rather stay away from this right now. Just observe the price action, because again, if you're into this into the long term, then yes, I mean, you could consider maybe entering here, but again, you'll be the judge, guys. You do whatever you're comfortable with. It's just that if you're looking for short-term trades, then maybe it's a bit of a difficult one here. Yes, I do like the crypto to the upside, and I believe that it could continue moving higher. However, sometimes in these situations, I don't really want to get caught out, and well, I mean, that's why I'm going to just leave this one for now and just continue observing the price action. Similar similar story here with Ripple. I mean, Ripple is just exploding, is just on fire, and you can see that the crypto is pushing further north. It's pushing towards that. It pushed already towards that 0.54 territory. So for now, the big question here is, will we see that little retracement? Because at the moment it's just one-way traffic. If you are in Ripple, I mean, congratulations, but guys, this morning what I talked about was that if we get a push above this 0.4694 territory, because this morning we were still hanging below here, below this area, this is what I talked about in my trader's tea time espresso, and what I was saying this morning, that if we get a push above this, then yep, my next target will be this 0.4957 territory or this 0.51 zone. But look at this, I mean, it continues to rally, it continues to push further north. So now the big question here is, let's try to find maybe the next potential area of resistance, and one of which could be this little area right here. Not this one. There we go. One moment, guys. So just to capture this little high, it's a bit of a tricky one here. There we go. And that's basically the highest point of November of 2018, and that area is near the 0.57 mark. So basically, in other words, at the moment, if you're trying to capture this one on the short side, well, I mean, you're probably getting crushed right now, because again, it's a little bit of a tricky one, and basically for now it's just one-way traffic. Everybody's jumping into this one. So but the only problem here is, where will it find its little ceiling, after which it could correct a little bit lower. So one of the areas that I'm considering right now is the 0.57 territory. However, if it continues to rally further, I mean, if it continues to break above it, or should I say, if it breaks above it, this is more accurate phrasing, then yes, I mean, I'll aim for that 0.60 territory or even above that. But again, for now, my next target is the 0.57 mark. So let's see how this is going to play out. If by any chance the price suddenly starts dropping back down here, and basically falls somewhere back below this little area right here, the 0.4957 territory, now this is where maybe we could go for a bit of a larger correction to the downside. AUDCAD. So I talked about this one last week, and basically the pair is getting closer again to this key resistance area near the 0.9583 zone. So yep, the same analysis remains. This is basically just a quick update on this pair. However, it's quite an interesting one, because like I said, it's approaching its key resistance area. So let's see if we can actually get a nice push above this 0.9583 zone. If we can, then, well, I mean, my next target is the 0.9668 zone, which is marked by the highest point of September, and then we'll take it from there. For now, all eyes are on this barrier, and let's see if we can actually manage to overcome it. USDJPY, it's a little bit stuck, I would say, because it's a bit of it's a little bit tricky here for now, because yes, the dollar index is drifting lower. However, the yen for some reason is on the weaker side as well. So now it's going to be an interesting one to watch. The only thing that it's kind of standing out right now is that the pair is finding some support near this inside swing high of the 6th of November, near the 103.76 territory. So in other words, if by any chance the rate struggles to move lower but remains slightly above this 103.76 territory, then maybe we could see maybe a bit of a push back up here. We could consider this idea if the rate climbs above the 104 mark again, and then of course we'll aim for that 21-day EMA again, or even this downside line, this medium-term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 24th of March. And then we'll take it from there. But again, for now, if you want to look at some higher levels, then probably wait for at least a move back above the 104 territory, because for now the main scenario is still to the downside. However, we can see that there's a little hold up near this 133 103.76 level. And let's see if this is going to be a temporary one, because if it's going to continue drifting further south. If it does that, then my next target is the lowest point, the current lowest point of November, near the 103.18 area. Of course, the weaker dollar and some positivity from the Brexit talks, of course, that's what's driving the pound today, and against its major counterparts, of course. And you can see that the pound is popping nicely above this 1.3287, above the 1.3313, and this morning we were already kind of sitting slightly above it, above this last area, this 1.3313. However, what I was saying, that if the pair is able today to stay above this area, then there is a good chance for this one to drift further north, where my next target will be the 1.3483 level, marked by the highest point of September here. In case the pair drops heavily back below the 1.3287 territory right here, the highlighted zone here, then I'll consider maybe a bit of a larger correction here to the downside. Quick update on euro against the Turkish lira, and the Turkish lira is already coming kind of weakening once again against its European counterpart. This pair is drifting higher. It's back above this 9.2050 territory. I talked about this last week basically, and what I was saying, that if we get a move above this, back above this area, then of course my next target is the 9.4691 level here, which, as you can see, acted as a good area of support. Now it's taking the role of resistance. So if by any chance this area continues to provide good resistance, this 9.4691 zone, then this idea here could work out nicely. Another slide could be possible, but as I said, for that I need to see the pair struggling to get above the 9.4691 level. It might take a couple of days, maybe. Let's see how this is going to play out. However, if it starts pushing further north here and by any chance climbs above the 9.6882 territory right here, then, well, I mean, the upside could be back on the table, and the pair could start once again try to aim for that psychological 10 zone, and and then in that case we'll take it from there. And finally, EURUSD. So the pair is now trading above this 1.1880 level. I talked about it this morning. However, it's still struggling with this 1.1918 level. That's what I was talking about with you guys. This is what I was telling you in my morning video, with that if we get a move above the 1.1880 zone, yes, that's great news. We could start looking at some higher levels. However, we'll be very careful near that 1.1918 level. So you can see that yes, the euro popped higher, but it's still kind of struggling to move closer to this 1.1918 level. And for now, basically what we're going to do here is we're just going to continue observing this 1.1880 level, because if by any chance the daily candle drifts back down, stays below this area, well, I mean, maybe it's not ready to move higher, and maybe actually we could see a bit of a decline here. However, for me, as I mentioned to you guys previously, that for me to aim for some lower areas, I would prefer to see at least a drop below the 1.1795 territory, and then consider a move lower. So guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that, guys. I really do. So if you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Trader's Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful evening, stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.